Hey, good morning, everyone. At least from Chiang Mai, Thailand. It's 7 a.m. here, and I just thought I'd check in with you, do a quick live stream. If any of you are out there, could you just let me know how the audio and the video is, just to give me an idea of how it sounds. Again, I'm using an old computer and I'm using this kind of setup. But in some ways, I found out that simple is best. This is a simple setup, and it seems to work much easier than back in Kyoto, where I have kind of a room that's set up like a studio with the camera and the microphone and everything different. There's so many facets to it that sometimes it takes actually more time to set up and work out, and there's more things that can go wrong, right? It's like driving a car versus riding a bicycle. A bicycle, only a few things can go wrong. It's very simple to fix, kind of that idea. So if you have anything to ask or say, but also in the comments, if you would at least let me know if the audio is okay. It looks like it's coming through okay, a little bit loud maybe, but let me know. Okay, thank you. So the reason I decided to do this is 2 weeks ago I did a live stream from Chiang Mai, and I had just arrived, and then so I didn't know very much about Chiang Mai. Also, I've been to Thailand maybe what I would say over 15 times in my life. The first time was longer when I came more as a backpacker, but the last 10, 15, 12, 13 times I've been only on business. So I only come for like maybe between 2 and 4 days. So, really, there wasn't much time because you have to work, right? And you really can't experience so much. You can do a couple of sites, but not very much. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. CBK Cheryl. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. That's all I needed to know. So anyway, when I came before in business, you really only can get like just snapshots. And of course, it's wonderful. It's fun. And when I was young, you come here a lot for the nightlife, right? Especially in Bangkok. The drinking, the risque, the bars and all of that. In that way, it's kind of a man's world down in Bangkok and the nightlife scene. So, but this time it's different and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about, like being older now, being so-called kind of semi-retired. As I said before, my job ended on September 30th, and I decided that I'm not set to retire because I don't have enough financial assets yet. However, I decided that as time goes on, the clock is ticking, right? I mean, when you really think about it, all we have in our life is you can always, usually make more money if you're physically, and mentally able to. You can acquire, more things. But the one thing that you cannot get is time. And so time is the only thing that once it's gone, you never get it back, right? So I decided that I should try and do something that I've always wanted to do. And so I decided that Thailand has always been a special place for me. And as I've said before, my two favorite countries are Japan and Thailand. Completely different. But maybe that's why I love both of them so much. They kind of complement each other. So this was on my bucket list. I decided to do this, and I live by the motto Ichigo Ichie, which basically means you gotta live in the moment, and this moment will never ever come again. This moment that I'm making this live stream right now will never ever happen again, no matter even if I make another live stream, just because of the circumstances, what's going on, the timing and everything. So really it's about Ichigo Ichie. This was part of it. And I don't know if you know the gentleman by the name of Matthew Dix. He is a blogger, he's a writer, he's the best storyteller in America. Anyway, on his blog, and I have it on my Facebook, he talks about not letting the old man in. And he blogs about how Clint Eastwood, for those of you who are older like me, Clint Eastwood, at 88 years old, he was still producing, directing, and acting. And so I thought, wow, and basically his advice to people is that Clint Eastwood's advice is basically don't let the old man in. Basically, stay active, keep, just go out there, challenge yourself. Don't get stuck in starting to, don't be complacent basically. And so that's also part of how I try to live my life, right? Hi, J Star. Thanks for joining us. So that's what all this came down to. And so people have asked me, "What are you doing in Thailand?" Right? Like, you're old. Old people don't go to Thailand and stay for that long. You can come to visit and you can come on a tour. But the reason is that I think solo travel, like now being alone, is actually really exciting, and yet at times, it can be worrisome. Like you're older, are you still as strong as you used to be? But again, it's a kind of a challenge, I think, and I think Thailand, like for some people, Japan would be a great place maybe to do a solo travel, or with your partner go and live for a while, or maybe a longer period, a month, 2 months, a year, or whatever. It's more about the visa issue, right? Japan is a great stepping stone, I think, because it's safe, good medical care, all you basically, it's a very honest system that, it could be a good place. So, and I've lived in Japan over 30 years. So for me, I thought, okay, Thailand might be a very interesting place. So I chose Thailand. I'm here. And I decided that, when you come, you can't just come and just live, right? I mean, it'd get boring after a while. So I decided, yeah, of course, I want to learn Thai because I want to get to know the people. I think that's my whole mission in life is I like people and I like to get to know them. And if you don't speak the language, then you're limited to whoever can speak English, or since I speak some Japanese, who can speak Japanese. So you're limited. So in Japan, my world has opened up since I can speak Japanese, right? Now, my Japanese is not perfect and I'm not bilingual by any means. However, I can talk to the 27 million people if I had an opportunity, right? But in Thailand, I'm limited to people who can only speak English, or if they speak some Japanese, which is very few, which means that I'm very limited. So it's very humbling to come to a country where you don't speak the language, and you are vulnerable. And I think that's also part of the whole experience itself. So anyway, I signed up for Thai lessons before I came. I had let's see, I went online, I checked out several Thai schools, and there were like TSL, and there was this other one, and then there was this one, We Learn Thai, Thai school. And so I checked out, the different ones, and the TSL one, which is supposed to be the better one. A lot of times they do a hybrid class where they do like, you have students in class and you have people coming in on the internet. And, during the pandemic, I taught online, and I believe that you got to do either or. You cannot do both, because you get kind of like we call in Japanese, chutohampa. Chutohampa means like, I hate to use the word half-ass, but it's just like you do, no one's happy. You do the minimum for both, and no one's happy. So TSL, I heard, had done kind of a hybrid, and I didn't want that. And I went and I checked out We Learn Thai, the Thai school, and when I wrote to the director, she said, "Oh, no, it's only in class." And so that's why I signed up for this class. So basically, my schedule is based around the Thai class. That's 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 2 hours each day, so 8 hours a week. So everything else is centered around that. And at least I have a place to go. I'm studying, I'm meeting. In my class, there's 5 other Americans. It's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 4 Americans and 1 Chinese person. So, there's a lot of Americans, of course, in Thailand. Americans, and especially Chiang Mai, there's a lot of expats. I think they're attracted to Chiang Mai. And now, people might say, oh, why did you choose Chiang Mai? Well, what was it, over 35 years ago, I came here with my friend Mona from Canada. Thank you, Mona. You actually taught me how to travel as a backpacker and travel alone and be more independent. So I came here and we visited places. I remember I went to talk to a Chiang Mai University professor because I wanted to teach there at that time. This is like 35 years ago, right? Because I liked Chiang Mai. It was cooler. It was close to the mountains. It was nice. Nothing ever worked out with that, but that was my last memory until I came back this time, 35 years later, right? I'm here in Chiang Mai. But I had always wanted to go back because it's cooler here. Um, and at that time, but even now, when you ask people, why did you choose Chiang Mai? A lot of the expats say it's the vibe, right? The vibe. So it has a good vibe because, you know, Greater Bangkok City has about 11 million people. Chiang Mai is the second largest city in Thailand, and it has only 200,000 people. Look at that gap. But 200,000 people make it very much more smaller. It's more local. It's more friendly, I think. The vibe is really good. It's cheaper. People have more time. In Bangkok, it's very commercialized. People are on the go. And of course, with that many people around, you have more scams. You have more people who are trying to take advantage of tourists and things. But here in Chiang Mai, of course you're going to have crime and your scams, but it's much, much, much at a lower level. So that's one of the reasons I chose Chiang Mai. Not only that, it's like a center hub for culture. I mean, just yesterday I went to for me. I was supposed to go. I told you on Saturday and Sundays I was playing pickleball, but what also had happened was because it's so popular, Chiang Mai, that the expats, a lot of them come back just for this season. The best time to come here is between November, December, January, and half of February, I heard. So 3 months. So people come back here because it's cooler, it's nice, it's not that hot. So what happens is the Chiang Mai Pickleball Club suddenly expands during this period. So when I first came 2 weeks ago, it was crowded, but you could pretty much get on quite quickly. But then I went on Saturday, and there were so many people there. There's like over 40 people, and you got only 3 courts, right? So that means that you have to rotate in and out, and depends on how long you play until 11, and at 11, then then you change, you rotate. But the problem there is that with that many people, even if the rotation happens with no problem, you get what is called you have to wait about 30 to 40 minutes. I waited about 30 or 40 minutes to play one time, and that one time might be 10, 15 minutes, and then you're off. Then you're waiting again. And then I realized that's not the best use of my time. And yeah, I can play pickleball other places. I wanted to play here, just because it's fun and you get to meet other people. And I have met a lot of people who have actually shared with me. There was Tony and there was Anthony, people who have shared. And so one of the gentlemen there, Tony, had said to me on Saturday when I said, it's getting a little too crowded. And he said, we have a hiking group. We have a hiking group. Do you want to go hiking tomorrow, which was yesterday? And I said, yeah, I want to go. I'll change it. So I changed my schedule. I was going to go hiking. And then I got up early, set up everything, and I was about to there's no taxis here except from the airport out. They're Grab and Bolt, just like Uber. So I tried to I used Grab before when I was going out to, 2 weeks ago last week to the Temple Doi Step, and I couldn't get a driver. And it's Sunday. Sunday is usually a less traffic day, so maybe people are taking off. So I couldn't get a driver. So in the end, I had to cancel that, and then I made it market day yesterday. Anyway, my point is, I went to 3 markets yesterday, morning, afternoon. So I went to the coconut market, I went to the Jingjaya market, and then last night I went to the famous Sunday night market in the old town. So, but what I'm saying is that it's just full of stuff going on, cultural stuff, last night at the Sunday market, I visited 2 different Watts temples. Just amazing. It's almost like in a dream. The way they light it up and all. And when you go, it's like, you go like, wow. And especially compared to Japanese temples, which are kind of on the dark side, not that lit up, not that, Thai is like gold and red, gold is everywhere. Just like, to me, just like such an impact. It's just, especially when you compare it to Japan, it's like, wow. It's like, after you see these these Thai Watts temples, it's hard to go back to the Japanese regular temple, it's because Japanese temples are kind of dark. They're black usually, and then they're darker color, or their natural wood color, which is a little more dark. But anyway, so Chiang Mai is a cultural center. So for those of you who want to do something like, okay, first maybe you want to go to Japan, great. And after you said, okay, I want to try something a little different, something more exciting maybe, I think Thailand is a good choice. I think Chiang Mai especially, more than Bangkok, I would highly recommend Chiang Mai. Now, if you're young and you want nightlife and you want the bar life, then you should go to Bangkok because Chiang Mai is, I heard, I haven't even gone. There's one street that has kind of nightlife, but it's very limited. This is like a local town. Like when I went to study Spanish in Guatemala, I first went to Antigua because everyone said, go to Antigua, it's where everybody goes, and it's touristy and it's beautiful and it has all the buildings and it's close to the volcano. So I went to Antigua and it was nice, but it was very commercialized. There's a lot of people studying Spanish there. It was a tourist, I don't want to say a tourist trap, but there are a lot of tourists around. There's a lot of, and I decided I didn't really like it that much. And so I went to Quetzaltenango, Shela, it's called, Quetzaltenango, which is on the, let's see, it's on the east side of Guatemala. Small city, smaller city, indigenous, more, related to indigenous, very quiet town, it shut down early. It wasn't like it was very simple and basic. And I ended up liking Quetzaltenango much better, as a city. And I think that's the same idea here in Thailand. If you want excitement and you're young and you want the nightlife and you just want stuff happening and you're a business person, especially if you're going to do business, then probably Bangkok is the best place to go. But if you want you want to stay a long time or you want to live here, there's a lot of expats that move here or come to visit and end up staying. A lot of people at the pickleball club that I talked to in Chiang Mai, they have either a retirement visa or they come on like an education visa, or they come back and forth, but they choose Chiang Mai over any place. So if after Japan you've done Japan or you want to do Japan but you want to go back, like I was telling my sister, she wants to come every year, right? So I'm telling my sister, like, okay, I think she's done Japan 5 times maybe, and next year she's talking about, I want to go back to Japan. I said you should come to Thailand and do Thailand maybe 5 or 6 days and then go to Japan so you get your Japan fix, do your shopping. Like Cheryl, if you're out there, you can do Uniqlo and all, like, GU and all that on the way home. So you could do both. And you can get the both of two worlds, I think. And you can get such a difference of things that I think it makes you appreciate and really understand both. You appreciate both. And you also see the good and the bad, and not good and bad, but the pros and cons of each side. So highly recommend doing both if you can. After Japan, doing Thailand. So yeah, do Japan first because it's easy. Not necessarily easy outside of the cities, but it's safe. It's kind of set. It's very. It's hard with the language, but outside of that, everything's very convenient and clean. And cleanliness. No country's going to beat Japan for being clean and orderly and everything. Just follow the rules. Really simple. So Japan, number 1 in the world. Can't take that away from them at all. But when you're ready to go a little bit more on the edge and do something a little bit more interesting, you want a little bit of a taste of what's it like to, I think Chiang Mai is great. Okay, more than Bangkok, because Bangkok, there are a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy, it's noisy, it's polluted. Not that, Chiang Mai too, you have your pollution, your dusty roads and things. They had the flooding here, so you still have to be careful. Anyway, Ibrahim, good to see you. Yeah, okay, thanks. So at least I have 3 of you out there. So yes, I would highly recommend Chiang Mai. Anyway, getting back to my schedule. So what do I do every day? So I've been here 2 weeks, and I've only been here 2 weeks, so I am a newbie, a first timer or second timer, but 35 years ago was the first time. So I just thought I'd tell you what I do every day. So 4 days a week I go to Thai lessons. I usually do homework. I actually study because it's so hard. If you speak Chinese, I think that Thai language is much easier for you because of the tones. Chinese has those 5 tones, right? Well, Thai has those 5 tones, and so I think it'd be very much easier. The other problem for like Westerners or English speakers, or even those of the Romance languages, is the alphabet we go by, the English alphabet. There are several characters in Thai or sounds that don't have an English alphabet. So they have their own that, and like the U with the lines through, and but it has its own sound that we don't have in English. So that's what makes it even more, difficult. And a lot of times I'll go out and try to use it. I go to the market and I'll try to say something like, my do, my nuang or my dong, like I want to say, oh, not hot or something. Nobody understands what I'm saying. And then they speak back to me and I don't understand what they're saying because the accent is different. And so, your teacher understands, your Thai teacher understands what you're saying, right? Because that's your teacher and they know what by context, what you're saying. But once you're out in the streets, so 2 weeks later, I might be able to say 3 sentences. Where's the toilet? My name is Mike. How are you? And pretty limited anyway. But anyway, so 4 days a week, I take Thai lessons. I study about 1 to 2 hours of homework almost every day. I get up in the morning, I'll listen to they have like online, their videos, so I'll listen to that. We have the textbook that I was showing you. This, and then it lists things that are, like you kind of follow, but again, they're using the English alphabet. I don't know if you can see this, right? Jing Dai thing, and then they have different things like, here on this side. So, we have, so they have it, they teach it in English because I think that's maybe the easiest way to do. But because in English we don't have a lot of those sounds, it makes it difficult to kind of even read and comprehend. But anyway, so that's the main, right? And then I play pickleball usually on Saturday, Sunday, but like now I'm making Sunday a culture day too, to go do something. Friday I'm off, so I try to do something. Like the first Friday I went up to the temple, Doi Step, and Friday is usually my culture day, but it rained last week really hard, so I wasn't able to do that. And then like there's a gym here on the way to my school at Pantip Plaza, and so I stopped there, do maybe an hour or so of exercise workout, and then change my t-shirt or shirt, and then go to school. And it's only $2 each time you go, 60 baht. So everything is very convenient in that way, right? So I leave here at 8, go to the gym, work out hour and a half, get to school by 10, take the lessons, and then after that, I'll come back here. And normally I go to a Thai noodle restaurant close to here. It's 55 baht, right? Less than $2 to eat. So, I love this Thai noodle. They have tom yum flavor and they have all this, so I go there almost every day. I'm sure I'll get tired of it eventually, but almost every day I'll go there. And after that, I'll come back and I'll study. And by then it's kind of hot. I might take a nap sometimes, or, work on Thai. And then I go to the market and I shop for dinner. And when I go to the market, I try to use Thai, but nobody understands what I'm saying. So basically, I can say how much, tao dai krap, and they'll say. And usually I understand because I'm just learning numbers now. And then, when you go to the market, I like, and another reason is I chose this area because of the location. So if you're going to go to Japan or you're going to go to Thailand or wherever, you want to choose for location. So for me, what was important was the pickleball club, where it was, the pickleball, where they play, and the school. And because I wanted to use a bicycle, that I had to be kind of in between. And so I checked on booking.com and I went over the map and I found something kind of in between, and it worked out really well. Another thing that I chose, the reason I chose this guest house. Now this guest house is very simple. It's a very simple, it's like a dormitory room, and most people probably might not want to stay at a simple place like this with very few amenities, the no frills. But I wanted something cheaper because I was going to stay here a long time, and I also thought that, you want to be where the local people are, right? So this area that this guest house is very local, and when I go to the market, I see very few foreigners. So the foreigners are, they're very close. You ride a bicycle ride 5 minutes and you'll see a foreign area. So I'm here, in the local area. But again, where I stay, maybe I can take this out. Hold on a second. If I can take this out and you can see, just to give you an idea of my simple abode. So you know that, let me see if I can do this. Okay, so this is the bed. Let me just show you. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, so this is the room, just to show you. It has a large bed, which I like. It has a nice closet, right? So, a lot of space for storage, but you don't want to bring too many clothes, right? So down here. Now, the one tricky part is the bathroom. And it's the old style bathroom, like old traditional style Thai bathroom where the shower and the toilet are in the same room, but there's no divider. That means that when you take a shower, you wet everything, like I did this morning. It wets everything, and you have to either wait till it dries or you have to wipe it down with a towel. So that's kind of troublesome. But again, this is the way it used to. In fact, even in Europe, when I think it was Amsterdam, I was staying at a cheaper hotel in Amsterdam. They had, I think, a curtain, but still, when you take a shower, it kind of wet everything in the floor. So I guess this is the old style. But anyway, here in Thailand, if you can see, you have a shower and there's your toilet. So when you take a shower, everything gets wet, right? And you think like, ooh, right? I mean, if you're not used to that. But now you kind of get used to it after a while. And what I'm surprised is the actual floor, it actually dries quite fast. I mean, not super fast, but fast enough. And so I just wear these like rubber slippers down here. Like you can see. I'll just use rubber slippers here like this while it's drying. And then once it's dry, then it's okay. Another interesting thing in Thailand is, you see that? Some people call it the bun gun. It's like a gun that shoots water, right? Let's see. Take you into the bathroom here. So this is called a bun gun. And it shoots water, right? Like that. And that's after you're done with using the bathroom, if you're sitting on the toilet, is that you use that to wash your rear end. Actually, total toilets, washlet toilets in Japan, this might have been the prototype. Maybe Thailand was way ahead of the game, And, before, a lot of times still, there are countries that use paper and countries that use their hand. And Thailand was a hand country, and they used to use that, not necessarily directly, but people used to wash their hand with that bun gun, they called it, I guess. So, it had several purposes, but also now I just use it like I do in Japan, like to wash. So it's like it could be the prototype of a washlet toilet. I mean, when you think about it. So maybe Thailand was way ahead of the game, right? Anyway, it's a bun gun. You got the shower here, you got the toilet here, all in one room, and it gets quite wet. Let me wash my hands. And here is the area. So that's the room. There's no TV in this room, which is fine. But it's a large room. It has a high ceiling. It has a quite high ceiling. There's an air conditioned unit here. And so I don't know if that gives you a better idea of what I'm living in. This room is, I think it was about $18 a day. Okay, so $18 a day. Now, what I do enjoy about this room is that it has a big balcony. So, I'm out here on the balcony. This is my view. Right down here, you can see there's vendors and things. The restaurants are around here. The market is right over there, that building over there. If you can see the mountain, it's a little bit hard to see way out here. That's where the temple was on the top, Doi Step Mountain. But this is my view. So I will sit out here and I will look out to the mountain. So this is my TV right here. This is my TV. And when I wake up early in the morning, I will see the monks, the Buddhist monks walking, and they get offerings of food, and then people stop, give them money or give them food, and then the Buddhist monks will pray for them and almost like bless them. And I guess it's a different word, but they'll pray for them. And so it's very, very interesting. And at night, this place gets busy because people are buying food and things. So I sit out here by myself, buy food from the market, and this is my TV. every day, every night, and this is my TV. It's really interesting, you know. And I don't know if you can see up here, like the birds, they're swarming. They look like sparrows. I don't know what kind of birds they are, but they're just swarming continually because that tree over there is now bearing some kind of fruit. You can see the flowers, orange flowers. These birds are constantly, I guess, eating that fruit, but they're swarming continually throughout the entire day. So that itself is really beautiful to watch too. So again, this is my natural TV, and so I really enjoy this outside balcony area right here. Anyway, that's just to give you an idea of, sorry if you're getting seasick, not seasick, but gotta close the door. The only thing is that it is a little bit noisy because in Thailand, most people, almost everyone has a motorbike, right? A motorcycle. People in Thailand cannot afford, a lot of them cannot afford to buy cars. So people buy motorbikes or motorcycles. And that's what makes everything really kind of noisy and things. Now, the downside about Thailand is that since there are like, I think it was 20 million, I can't remember exactly, 20 million people with motorbikes, which means that if there are, let's see, yeah, there's 22 million motorbikes in Thailand. And every year they have 20,000 people who are killed by traffic accidents. 74% are caused or happen on motorcycles or scooters. So all around Thailand, you see people, you know, that's the main mode of transportation. So I wanted to do that too eventually, but you know, I had more second thoughts. But so, and what is dangerous, and this is one thing, if you do come to Thailand, you have to be careful of, is that it's, oh, great. Yeah, you like the natural TV? Thank you, Cheryl. Let's see. Like on a same boat. Oh, like on a same, yeah, like on a boat. Yeah. Trying to give up time in Japan. Okay, so yeah, it's hard to exchange. You can't really trade off, I guess, or you can do both, right? I mean, right? You can stay in Japan and then come to Thailand, or vice versa, or you know. Anyway, but if Japan is your place, that's fine. I would just like to give the option that, like, this for me is kind of like wow. Every time every place I go, it's like wow, right? Anyway, getting back to what I was saying about the motorbikes and the motorcycles. Let's see. I think it was 22 million. So basically, every year, they have so many traffic fatalities. 20,000 are killed. So about 75%, 74% are killed because of motorcycles or motor scooters. 7% of those people killed are foreigners. And that's the tragic part, I think. 7%. If you break that down, it comes out to be about 1,050 foreigners die every year in Thailand because of motorcycles and motor scooters. And then if you take that divided by days, that basically is 2.8. Almost 3 people or 3 foreigners a day are killed on motorcycles and motor scooters. So I do want to forewarn you, if you do come to Thailand and you do decide to get a motorbike or motorcycle, then you have to be careful. Now, I use a bicycle, what people call a push bike, to get around. And I'm limited, right? I can only go maybe 10 kilometers. Outside of that, I have to use Gap or Bolt, you know, like a Uber, because it's almost too far. But I like the bicycle. But again, as I said before in my past video, is that very few people, Thais don't usually ride their bicycle, except older people or maybe people who you see with all the bags on their bicycle. The only other people riding bicycles around Chiang Mai are foreigners. But they're very few. And you watch some of those online YouTube videos and they say, oh, don't ride a bicycle because that's like, you can easily get killed and all that. I don't know how true that is. I think there's also another, I have a different theory about that. After riding around for 2 weeks around Chiang Mai, I think I got my helmet on too, it's white, and and I try to make big motions. When I turn, I'm waving like this, I'm riding and I'm waving this way, right? I think, and I hope, that drivers on motorcycles, motorbikes, and cars are more aware or more careful about people on push bikes, bicycles. more than motorcycles because there's so many of them out there. And then like back in Japan about I think 30 years ago, they had a big problem, and maybe it's still common that most accidents were caused on motorbikes. Like those 50cc bicycle scooters in Japan. I think maybe Hawaii also had something like this too, because they're fast enough to keep up, but too slow compared to the car. So they're kind of like in that middle area, and that makes them actually more dangerous than a bicycle or a car or actual motorcycle going fast. So that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I have a theory that here that people are, I think, and I want to believe, are more careful about me with my little bicycle, paddling along, because maybe they feel sorry for me. Maybe they say like, oh, look at that guy. He's on his little. He can't go fast, and he's waving his arm like this as he tries to, like yesterday. There's a couple places that I gotta, like a highway, the size of a highway, 4 lanes. I gotta make a U-turn to go back over the bridge. I gotta get on the left side and cross 4 lanes and to get into the U-turn lane. And then after I make the U-turn, go cross 4 lanes to get to the left side again. That is when my heart is beating super fast, and there's no way around that. I tried to figure out other ways instead of getting on that highway. But yesterday was not that crowded, and so I did my hand waving, and I'm trying to ride like this, and I survived. But sometimes having more traffic actually makes it easier to do that because cars are going slower. But like yesterday with a low traffic day, people are flying by, right? So I'm at their mercy that they see me. So outside of those areas though, I felt very comfortable riding my bicycle around. So again, I don't know which is better or worse, but there's so few of us on the bicycles in Chiang Mai. But I do wear a helmet, and I do ride as best and as safe as I can. But anyway, if you're going to come to Thailand, I would be very, very careful if you do get a motorbike or motor scooter, because there's, people are inexperienced. A lot of people are driving without a license, and the majority, I would say 70 to 80%, although it's a law, don't wear helmets. The motorbike or motorcycle people, they are not wearing helmets. And if the police stop you, they will ticket you. But most people, I read somewhere that 80% of the tickets are unpaid. Nobody pays attention. So this is probably Thailand's biggest danger and epidemic, is that the motorcycle and motor scooter accident. So anyway, that's, just be careful about that. So anyway, that's how I get around, and that's what I do. So every day I try to keep it busy. So if you do come to Thailand, and maybe there's some of you like me, or after you worked, you want to retire, or you want to do a little adventure. Whether you come with your spouse or partner, or you come as a group, that's fine. But I also think that if you don't have that and you want to come as a solo traveler, that you just have to be careful. But, like I said, how many more times around the sun do we have, right? We don't know. So if you want to do it, that I think Chiang Mai is a good place to do this. And if you don't want to use a motorbike or bicycle, you can take Grab, the Uber. Not as convenient, but still, it's not a problem. You could get a hotel in the old city, and then all that area, that whole, you can just walk. It's not that far. So, there are options to do that, I think something about staying in a country a long time is really important, because, like you talk about travel and how travel changes people. I believe travel is the best educator more than any textbook or any class or any lesson, because you're constantly engaged and you're living it, right? And I think what you find out is you become much more empathetic to how people live their daily lives, whether you feel sorry or you feel like, wow, I'm lucky, or whatever happens there's stuff that goes on that I think really brings awareness to you about life. And in a way, being from America, how fortunate I am and how lucky I am. And yet I see people here, even like I saw in Guatemala, where I used to ask the question, are people in America happier than they are here in Thailand or in Guatemala with so much less? And my conclusion was probably not. I mean, Americans are not necessarily happier. They are, that it's relative. You have less. And I read somewhere that the poverty line. If you are below the poverty line, yes, money matters. If you had more money and more things, you would be much happier. Money will make you happier. But once you hit the poverty line and above, it's relative. I think even President Abraham Lincoln had said something to this effect, that you're only as happy as you make out to be, is that it's relative, that you can be as happy as you want to be. Once you pass the poverty line, which means you have all your basic needs, Maslow's hierarchy, you have your basic needs met. So I believe that. So, like you see a lot of the people here in Thailand, they have much less, but they seem to be, you can't compare it to the same because of the lifestyle and all, but as far as happiness, just a kind of emotional happiness or satisfaction, they seem to be no less than, let's say, in the United States. And spiritually, I was asked this question on my last live stream about, are they more, what do you say? I don't know if the word is spiritual, but I would say in Thailand, yes, more than other places, especially Japan, much more than Japan, and probably more than America. Yes, much more than America, especially these days. That I would say that spiritually, the connection to Buddhism here, when they pass a wat, or they go into the temple, the wats, or they pass a small like shrine wat, that there's always a kind of a reverence to, maybe a larger power, that I would say the Thais are much higher. It's spiritually, I would think, and they're connected. It's part of their culture, much more than the Japanese and much more than in America. And that's my own personal opinion, but I really see that, and the connection, and just seeing the monks walking, in the morning, and getting offerings of food, and people either giving food or giving some, small money, and then the monks saying a chant or something for them. I look at that, I go like, wow. And like here in Chiang Mai, you could walk into any Wat temple, and it's quiet, and it's usually not crowded. And if you wanted to meditate, you could just sit there as long as you want. So there are places in Thailand or Chiang Mai here that you could just go in and just be connected to whoever you want to be connected, and just sit alone in peace, which is really, really nice. Yeah. Getting to the, let's see, Matsuda. Yes, you are right about happiness and how wealthy we are. You are a philosophical. Great observation. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Matsuda-san. I don't know, but that's just my experience to travel. And that's why I'm a believer in travel. Hi, Wally. How's it going? I believe in travel, being educated. And that's why I hope more people will do it. And I hope you will do it for longer periods of time. I know it's not possible a lot of times with job and money and finances and all that. But the longer you can stay in a place, I think the more you can acclimatize, and the more you have time not to always be rushing. Like, like before when I was in Bangkok and come for 2 or 3 days, I got to go get the Thai massage every day, or I got to go drink, or I got to go to the bar, or I got to do this. You have a list, bang, 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 bang. But you're not really letting go to experience the people for sake, right? You don't have much opportunity to see. That's why being here, at least here in Chiang Mai for a month, I'm going to be here, another 2 weeks after this, I feel a sense of like, I'm finally, after 2 weeks, starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, and I have made connection. I wouldn't say friends, but I made connections with the lady who sells the fruit, the laundry lady, the market people, the people who have restaurants, the Thai noodle shop. They see me every day. I finally, after 2 weeks, I feel like I've kind of made a connection that when we see each other, they kind of recognize me, I recognize them. That's when it's easy for me to try and speak some Thai, even if they don't understand what I'm saying. Yesterday, I wanted to say, okay, I want it hot, spicy. So, tom yum pet, what did I say? Noi, please, or something. And they actually understood. And he said to me, in English, he said, you want spicy? Because every day I would say, nit noi, like a little bit spicy. And he would say, I said, yeah, today I wanted to say, I want to try hot in Thailand. But I didn't know how to say try. So I just said, yes, please. And it came hot, and I ate it, and I survived. And I said, I think I can eat hot in Thailand. I mean, that noodle shop, not the other dishes you buy at the market. Those are like, some of them are really, really, really hot. So getting back to my schedule is that I try to keep myself quite busy, but I try to engage with the local people. And that's why I think like staying here at the Nada House, which is a small guest house, very simple as you saw, when I did the video around. And I have an older lady, her name is Noi, and she's very, very kind. And another thing I would suggest is you choose a place by the reviews of the owner if you're going to stay at a smaller place. Hotels are very different. They have English speakers and things, but I like to stay at places where the owner has a high review and people have praised or complimented the owner, because I think that makes the stay. We used to have a bed and breakfast in Alaska before, and I used to tell Stella before is that our place was simple. They called it the Brady Bunch House. It was very simple. It was nothing special. But I said, if the guests like us, they will like our place, no matter how old or run down it is, as long as it's not too bad, right? I believe that. And so even here, it's very simple, but Noi is her name. I saw her reviews. Guests all raved about her, how kind, hospitable. So I chose here. Of course, location and then Noi. And I have not been disappointed. She will speak to me Thai or try to speak to me Thai, when I want to. She will help me like go to the market yesterday, which markets to go to. She helps me and she uses this, like sometimes we have topics that she cannot, and she uses Google Translate in Thai, and she'll speak and then she'll show me, and then I'll speak and I'll show her, and we get through and we laugh and things. But we're connecting, right? And I think that's what travel is. It's like you want to connect with the local people, not be insulated by a hotel or something. You want to see what people are saying or laugh with people. So my suggestion is, if you want the nice Ritz-Carlton or whatever Oriental hotel, that's fine. But you'll get good English speakers at the front desk, no problem. But if you want to kind of mingle with the more local, down-to-earth, regular people, then it's better to stay in a smaller place, maybe a guest house, maybe a smaller hotel that's owned by a family or something, and choose that way. So that was another reason I chose. I'm coming alone, right? So I'm thinking I want somebody to know who I am. So I chose here in case something happened. At least Noi knows who I am. And in fact, I told her I got her card. I said, in case something happens, I get hit by a car or something, I want to have your address so that they can contact you, and then at least they know who I am, right? So that's another reason. It's because I'm here alone. It's good to have an owner that knows who you are and recognizes you as a person, not just a guest, but as a person, right? And then again, so I'm here, I'm living every day, going to school, going to the gym, going to pickleball, going to the noodle shop for lunch, buying fruit every day from the fruit lady, going to the market and trying to speak Thai and buying my dinner, sitting out on the balcony, getting my natural television, my television to the world out here. And I'm really happy in the sense that, people say, oh, don't you get lonely? Of course, you get lonely at times, and it might be nice to talk to someone or have a meal with someone. Yeah, share oh, you see a sunset. Oh, that's beautiful, and share. Yes, that part does lack. But when I do the comparison, there are times that you're traveling with somebody that it's really stressful or that it's hard, right? And the reverse happens. It's actually negative. So when I'm balancing, I said, being alone is fine. I actually enjoy, there'll be moments of being alone, lonely, and there are times that you kind of worry, right? Like I'm riding my bike last night in the dark, right? I got the light. So you gotta take certain steps. Like what I did is, the bicycle doesn't have a light, so I went to the neighborhood 100 yen shop, which is not a 100 yen shop. It's a 10 baht shop, right? Which is like 30 cents. And they sell 10 baht, 20 baht, 30 baht, different things. I go and I look for a flashlight. I buy a flashlight. I buy a blinking red light. Bing, 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 bing. I think it was 20 baht. So like 70 cents. And I put that onto the bike. But they don't have I wanted one of those lights that you put on your head so I could ride. But I am coming back from the doctor's. I went the doctor's office on Wednesday, and I see Lotus. Lotus is like the Walmart of Thailand. So I stop there, and I find a headlight. So what I do is I put that on with the helmet, like last night, and I got the blinker going. So I try to be as safe as I can within my means, and I will buy whatever it takes and just give it to give it to the bike guy after if I don't need it. But it's like $1, or that light was a little more expensive. It was $3, right? So I try to manage within my my situation of being alone. And for me, I think the most important is the people. I want to get to know the people, and that's why I study Thai, and that's why I try to go to the market. And you know what? It's a struggle, right? You feel nervous, you feel like people are going to take advantage of you, you feel vulnerable, but those are important feelings, I think, because it makes you more empathetic. Like when you're host and you see like Japanese in Hawaii lost, or I see foreigners in Kyoto looking lost, I will go up and say like, oh, do you need any help, or can I help you, or something, right? I will try to, because it has taught me, when you're alone, or you don't speak the language, you are vulnerable, and you feel like scared, and you feel worried, and you feel a little stressed. So someone who can help or is willing to help changes everything, right? And so that's what I get from being here with Noi, as well as with other people. I just wish I could speak Thai better. And after 1 month, in 2 weeks, I will be no much. I won't be much better than I am now. I understand that. I hope to come back next year. And someone told me that down in Bangkok, AUA, it's the American University Association. They have like intensive Thai for 6 weeks. So I thought maybe I could do that. I would like to stay in Chiang Mai though. I like Chiang Mai much better than Bangkok, in the sense that the vibe, right? The vibe. But things are cheaper, and I kind of know my way around now, and I'm getting around on a bicycle, push bike as they call it. And yeah, things are pretty much okay. So just to summarize everything, I chose Thailand because next to Japan, Thailand is my favorite country. They're both at the top, so different, right? Why Chiang Mai? As I said before, it's that it's slower. People have more time for you. It's more friendly. This is the center in Thailand of the global nomads. So if the global nomads are choosing here to live for long periods of time, that has to tell you something about Thailand. You don't see global nomads going to Japan, which I think in the future is a possibility with the yen being so weak now. Global nomads could actually go to Japan. But Japan has other kinds of problems, like staying, past 3 months with a visa, internet. I'm sorry. As much as people always compliment how fast Japan is, maybe if you have your own house, maybe it is fast. But as for me, living in an apartment in Kyoto Nabe, getting the maximum internet in Kyoto Nabe, Kyoto, is way slower than here in the guest house. So that will give you some perspective of the power of, now, if you're just doing email and just regular SNS, that's not a problem. But if you're doing YouTube, or you're trying to download stuff and upload stuff, Japan is way behind. They are like 10 years, 20 years behind the United States as far as speed and ability of the internet. So again, maybe that's why global nomads, they have internet here, cost is reasonable, they have a new retirement visa. That's another thing. The Thai government is always thinking about how to get foreigners to come, stay, spend money. They don't want you to stay forever if possible, but they have offered like the retirement visa, education visa. There's a guy in the Thai class. He's from California, and he studied Muay, I forgot how you say it, kickboxing, Thai kickboxing, for a year. He's on the visa to study kickboxing. You can do that. It's like I guess in Japan they have a kind of a cultural visa to do judo and things too, something like that. But here it's much easier to get than to get anything like a long-term visa in Japan. But for some of you who are interested in, like you just retired, or you just quit your job and you want to take a break, or you're a young person and you want to do like a trip, Japan is a perfectly reasonable place now to do that and travel around and get around, especially with the yen rate being so, in favor of the dollar right now. And, go and explore Japan, safe country, easy to get around. just the language, but you can use, you can use Google Translate just like I do here in Thailand. And if you want something a little bit more on the edge side, then definitely Thailand would be there's other places. You could go to Vietnam, you could go to Malaysia, you could go to Indonesia, you could go to Taiwan, any of those countries, I think you could do something similar. I just like Thailand because first, I think of all the Asian countries, they have a better command of English. I'm not saying that a deep, but as far as for tourists and for visitors, a lot of people speak English, and you usually can get someone who, more than Japan, right? Japan studies as much or more than the Thai people. And a lot of these people I'm dealing with are not college graduates. They're just maybe high school. They're vendors and things, but it's part of they need it. You don't see that in Japan, even with the average person who's pushing the ramen cart or the yatai. A lot of them don't speak English to the extent that I see here. So, okay, so that's why I think Thailand for English. Also, they have good medical. They have a lot of, like the Bangkok Hospital is here in Chiang Mai and things, But you need travel insurance. That's another thing. Besides the motorcycle, and the thing that I wanted to say is that you better have travel insurance. There's a lot of companies that offer it. You need travel insurance. Don't come to Thailand without travel insurance, because if you're one of those people who, I just read an article about, I think it was this guy who was studying kickboxing. He was really good. I think he was American. He was riding a motorcycle. It was a motorbike scooter, and he got into a bad accident when the driver, he was Thai, was driving on the wrong side of the road with a truck. I think it was a truck, and I think he's still in the hospital. It's really sad. So make sure you have travel insurance when you come in. Well, anywhere you go, even in Japan, you should have travel insurance. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much. Oh, the last thing is that I think, like for me, studying Thai, being in Thailand, invigorates me, inspires me to be better, and gives me kind of purpose. Like, okay, this is my purpose: to study Thai, to get to know Thai people, maybe to live in Thailand for a longer period. So it also that makes increased passion, and overall, Thailand is a very safe country. The most dangerous things, as I said before, are the motorcycles and the motorbikes. Like 75% of the traffic accidents, fatalities, people who die are from motorcycles and motorbikes. So that's kind of everything what I do. So every day is kind of busy for me. Fridays and maybe now Sundays I call cultural day for me, which is that I will do something, go maybe on a farther trip or do something that takes longer period, because I decided pickleball is fine, but because it's getting really crowded, and I can play pickleball anywhere, right? But pickleball was good that I met a lot of people, and I met a couple of people who have been really helpful, offering about going hiking or making recommendations. One guy, he was from the UK. Was it Anthony? He was really kind, and he talked to me about Qingdao and going to different places, the Sky Temple and things. So, expats are a great source of information for places to go, places to live, restaurants to visit. So it's also important to have an expat connection too, and pickleball has given me that, although it's only been 2 weeks, right? So anyway, if I could do that in 2 weeks, imagine if I was here for like 2 or 3 months, I would be much, much better versed at getting around and speaking Thai better and understanding. So I have only scratched the surface in 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks, and I might be in the honeymoon stage, but I see these expats, a lot of them been here for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, What is interesting is in my Thai class, I have a couple from America who has been here 3 years, and they're just starting to study Thai now. I have another gentleman. He's a traveler. He's been here 6 months, and he's pretty good, and he's starting now. And then there's a Chinese lady. She's very good, and she's she's really good with numbers and all. And she's been here a year, and she's just starting. So a lot of people, I guess, come and they kind of get used to, and then they start to study. My thinking is different. If you go, you need to know the language. So just jump in and try to study from the very beginning, because it will help change your life, right? I mean, it will change your life if you can speak. It will open up doors and experiences. And, like there's some people online who say, oh, you don't have to speak Thai to have a great time. You don't need Thai. You can just speak English. I disagree. You can get by with just English. That's fine if you don't want to study Thai. But if you really want a full experience, I think you need to know at least conversational level. You don't have to go into deep philosophical thought, but at least conversational level where you can talk and you can have daily conversations with people is super important to make connections and to have friends. Because I'm thinking that if you come here alone and have no Thai school to study at, and you go to the gym maybe and you travel around, maybe you play pickleball, maybe you make some friends, I think it'd be lonely after a while. I think you would start to feel like a little bit like, oh, I'm I'm lonely. And maybe that's why a lot of people go and get girlfriends, whether it's Thai girlfriends or any kind of girl or any other country girlfriends or they get lonely. I think if you feel good about yourself, that time will come if you want to find a partner or you do find a partner, that it's not pushed by loneliness into that. I think that's really important. And I think learning the language is one way to start to have friends, which kind of balance that out, or at least give you time to figure out what you want to do here in Thailand or in Japan or wherever you go in Asia or in the world for that matter. Anyway, I just wanted to thank all of you who are in the comments who said things, and Ibrahim and Cheryl and Matsuda-san and Wally. Cheers from Canada. You're always there for me. Thank you very, very, very much. I hope to maybe I'll do another live stream one day again. I don't know about, maybe I'm going to be here 2 weeks, and then I'm going to go to Chiang Mai, which is a 3.5 hour bus ride, and I'm going to set up camp there for just 4 nights. Then I'm going down to Phuket for another maybe 4 nights, stay with a friend, Dot, and then I'm going to go to Bangkok and see some friends there, and then fly back to Japan around December, I think it's 8th or 9th. So that's kind of my plan now. And anyway, if there's times along the way that I come up with a new topic, maybe a topic about travel, but all of you already know that the benefits and why travel is so important would be a good live stream. But again, so many people have done that and done that. And let's see. Okay, Matsuda-san says, now have a good time and enjoy. Be safe. I am traveling at the onsen in Tohoku for 5 days. Wow, Yoshi. Yoshi Matsuda. Yes, Yoshi. Leaving for Tokyo Station to be the first edition. Zao Onsen. Zao, right? Zao Onsen. All right, Yoshi. So Yoshi's moving. So yeah, Japan is a great place to, travel around and do all these things. So it doesn't have to be Thailand. It doesn't have to be Vietnam. It doesn't have to be Taiwan or anywhere. Japan is a great, as I said, I think Japan is the best for the first stepping stone if you want to go to Asia, because it's orderly, it's safe, people are really nice, they got the best service in the world, it's only language, and you can manage through this. And there are English speakers here and there, not that many, but there are out there. So, and the Japanese people, they want, well, in any place, even Thai people, they want you to have a good time, but especially Japanese people, they want you to enjoy Japan. It's just like being from Hawaii, and I said this many times, when people come to Hawaii, if it rains every day, I feel so sad, and I feel sorry for them. We want them to enjoy Hawaii, right? Same, the Japanese have that same idea. I'm sure most countries, people do have the same idea. Okay, J-Star. Okay, says take care and be safe. Great live. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I will see you on the backside, and thank you for joining me. I hope you got something out of this video about life in Thailand, and what I'm doing, and why I do it, and why I suggest traveling, and why I suggest Chiang Mai. Thailand is great, but I think specifically Chiang Mai, it's just full of culture and market. If you like shopping, this is the place. Cheryl, if you're out there, this is the place. You would go wild, man. I mean, I went to 3 markets yesterday just to find out what they're like. They all offer different things. The Sunday night market, which was so huge, It's like, it's everywhere. But so many people. I actually didn't really like it that much, the Sunday night market. But the Saturday night market, the night before that I went, that's close to here, I would say that was great. So I am checking out the different markets. I'm trying to figure out, I'll make some videos about, and then give some commentary about them. But again, shopping, cultural sites, unbelievable. Chiang Mai is really unbelievable. I didn't know what to expect, but it's so much more than I could have ever expected. I just wish I could speak some Thai. That's my big problem. I need to learn Thai, and I am not getting very. All I can say is, where is the toilet? Hong Nam Yu Ti Nai Club. That's it, right? I mean, very important. Last night I actually used it. I was at the Sunday night market. I had to go to the bathroom, and I didn't know where. It was so big, you can't. There's no toilet sign, so I went to the guy at the temple, the guard. Because Thais are free, but foreigners should pay 50 baht, right? And I said Hong Nam Yu Ti Nai Club, and I had already paid to go in, but he didn't ask me to pay or show my ticket. He just said, he spoke to me in Thai. He said, "Oh, Hong Nam, da 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 da." He told me in Thai, go left. I could see by his motion where to go. And I said, "Oh, Kap Kun Krap." I don't know if he thought I was Thai or what, but he let me through to go to the toilet. And when I came out, I thanked him. I said, "Kap Kun Krap," and he smiled, and I left. So, and I do want to say, you know, after going to the Sunday night market, I thought, oh yeah, the toilet's going to be dirty, or you know, the temple toilets were super clean. They were clean. They had toilet paper. They had the bun gun. They had everything. It was super clean. So toilets is one of my pet peeves because I'm always worried about the toilet, and I want it to be clean. The Wat toilets, I guess kept by the monks, are very clean. And they have a little donation box if you can give money. So I gave like 15 baht or something, whatever I had in coins, because I was so thankful. But again, very, very clean toilets at the Wat, the temple. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thanks again. Hope to see you in the next live stream. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate if you're on and you stayed on the whole entire time. Very much appreciated. Take care. Until next time. Mike signing off from Chiang Mai, Thailand. I hope to see you in Japan or in Chiang Mai one day. Thanks again.